So what we want to do now is want to play exactly what Rob Parker had to say in response to Kevin Durant's comments, and then we're going to come back and continue on the show. Take a listen to Rob Parker here.
But Rob, Kevin Durant was talking. He was on the Logan Paul's podcast called Impulsive, like impulsive. And he was asked, who was the big three in the NBA? Now, I wonder if Logan Paul asked the question. I don't know who did ask it, but if it was Logan Paul, did he really, it was his co-host, did they know what they were talking about? They say who's the big three in the NBA, Rob G? Because usually we'll play the sound here will have a big three.
Yeah, in the sound.
Not a league.
I believe you'll hear the question in the sound here. However, full context in the conversation, it's Logan Paul, his co-host, and a social media influencer by the name of Speed or something like that. And they're talking to the influencer, and he says, yeah, I'm part of kind of like the big three when it comes to streaming. It's me and these two other guys.
Okay.
And then that's when the co says, hey, well, KD, who's the big three of the NBA right now? Here was his answer. Take a listen.
Okay, that's cool.
Who's the big three in the NBA right now in your eyes? Don't just say just big me. Is that what you're going to say?
No, hell no. I mean, if you would look at it, you could say LeBron, Steph, myself. the NBA is different, bro. Ain't no big threes.
Right.
It's like a big 30.
So that straightens it out. I mean, that's logical, right? You're talking about a big three of this or that, and he says, who's the big three of the NBA? Okay, that's cool. Kevin Durant, I agree that LeBron, Steph, and then to a lesser degree, but still, Kevin Durant are the three giants of this generation. LeBron's just playing so long that he's now in the Steph generation as well. But they would be the three giants of this generation. So from that perspective, I give it to Kevin Durant. But if there was a big three, if you had to name, I mean, just the three best players, I think there is a clear big three in the NBA. And right now, it would be Nikola Jokic, Luka Doncic, and Giannis Antetokounmpo. I think that would be the big three if there was such a thing, Rob.
100%. And this is a total disregard of international players and acting like they haven't done anything and they don't rate or whatever. It doesn't make any sense. The Joker's won 3 of the last 4 MVPs, Chris. Hello?
Well, yeah, you're right. And the three guys we named, and Luka hadn't even won one, but they've won 5 of the last 6.
Right. I mean, like you
Durant hasn't won an MVP since 2014.
I mean, like what, really? And where is, again, listening to these lame podcasts, where can somebody just push back on Kevin Durant and say the Joker's won 3 of the last 4, he doesn't rate? He's not in your top 3 of the big 3? Can we get a little bit of that? Can you work for 5 seconds on a podcast? Can you work for the listener and make you feel like you're listening and you're not just head nodding every time somebody opens their pie hole and just spouts anything out? It's ridiculous. They don't even flinch. We just talked about forget about
Logan Paul
Giannis.
is a boxer.
I get
kinda,
it, but he's got a podcast.
Kind of, sort of. Like, I don't even know if he's a boxer.
But he's asking questions as if they're reporters and they're trying to get information and knowledge. That's my point. If you're going to ask questions, can you please have a follow-up? Can you please make him explain why he believes what he believes? Can you please just throw him a little bit and say, why are you disregarding and disrespecting the international players who have won the last 6 MVPs? Kevin Durant, why?
So you heard what Rob had to say. What are my thoughts? I think that Rob brings up an interesting point. If we think of some of the players that have won MVP over the last few seasons, they've all been foreign players. I'm not counting Joel Embiid because Joel Embiid just recently became an American, but that was just recently, but he's a foreign guy. You think of Giannis Antetokounmpo won 2, Nikola Jokic is 1, 2, 2 if my memory serves me right, and then of course you have Joel Embiid, so that's just 5 right there, right? 5 right there. So whenever you say, when we're talking about the big dogs in the NBA and you leave out these guys, people kind of look at you in a funny way. You just had Luka Doncic in the finals. He's a foreign guy. He was doing his thing in the playoffs this year. But I think the aspect Kevin Durant was talking about, at least this is just what I think maybe he was speaking about it from a marketing standpoint. And if we're speaking about it from a marketing standpoint, I think Kevin Durant has a point. Because marketing, the NBA still promotes Stephen Curry, they still promote LeBron James, and they still promote Kevin Durant. As a matter of fact, all of last season, we heard people talk about, well, who's going to be the new star of the NBA when Kevin Durant, LeBron, and all of these guys go and leave, when they ultimately retire, who are going to be the guys that the NBA is going to be pushing forward? And that's where you started seeing them make a concerted effort to push Anthony Edwards and some other stars, right? This was a real conversation because they were like, these guys are getting older and they're going to be retiring fairly soon. So it is a real thing from that standpoint. And if that's the standpoint that Kevin Durant was speaking about it from, then I think Kevin Durant is 100% on the money. These are the guys that are marketed the most, right? It's LeBron, it's Stephen Curry, and then it's Kevin Durant himself. And I think after that, the next player up to bat is going to be Anthony Edwards. But I also do think you're going to have some foreign guys in there. I think Victor Wembanyama is also going to be marketed as well. And of course, you have some guys that are still going, like Luka Doncic and others that are also going to be marketed. And of course, you have Jason